No, I mean, so you come from the Western side of the world, which is in
Mm.
India, like idealism, it's an ideal sort of way of living life.
Yeah.
And I personally know because I've traveled quite a bit now, I think 3 continents, and I have seen people
Yeah.
going through the same sort of struggles that every human being across the world goes through, right?
Hmm.
So while you were living your life, and there's a lot more to come, there are these negative thoughts that come to your mind, right? The struggle part that comes before success.
Yeah.
How how do you tackle it? How would you suggest someone who's listening this tackling it?
Yeah. I mean, I think the wrong thing to say to someone who's struggling with it is the kind of like, well, everything's going to be okay advice.
Okay.
First of all, because it's not true. Lots of people fail at things, especially when the thing is really difficult. Like if you're trying to launch a company or you're trying to become like an actor, musician, or an academic or any kind of profession like that has a non-zero failure rate. I think that's the wrong way to look at it. I think that it's that the uncertainty about whether or not you'll make it is very much embedded in the pursuit, and that's something you have to get comfortable with. I think that you might be putting in a lot of energy in something that turns out to be a dead end, or you're just sort of like, okay, that didn't go anywhere. But I think the way I always sort of rationalize it to myself is that, well, you're always sort of in a situation in life where you're kind of just you're going to spend your time and energy somehow. And so the question is just sort of like, is this an investment that I want to make, even if it may work or may not work? And so that was always my attitude starting with this, is I always kind of felt like, well, this may not work out. I might just putting in a lot of effort and it doesn't go anywhere. But, like sort of looking back, would I rather have been doing something else? Right? Is there something else I would rather be doing? And for me, the answer was no. Like, this is what I wanted to do. It was worth it to me. Okay, let's do it. And then I think once you're in it, then you just have to work as hard as you can, and with the constraint of like not burning yourself out and this kind of thing. But you want to be putting in effort and that kind of thing. So I think I guess, I don't know, I'm being really vague here, but I feel like the idea is that you want to get comfortable with that uncertainty as opposed to trying to dismiss it. I think sometimes the advice is like, you need to kind of banish the uncertainty, and it's like unshakable faith in yourself. And I think that's cognitively unstable, because it's not true. So you can kind of like delude yourself for a little bit, and then you get a setback, and then it crumbles it's just sort of more like, no. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing something that's hard, and I might fail at it. And that's why I need to work hard. But I've sort of accepted that despite the uncertainty, this is what I want to be doing, and this is where I want to invest my time. And so I think that's an important. And I mean, if that's not true, if when you're actually making that rational analysis and you're sort of saying to yourself, well, actually, no, if I'm not guaranteed to succeed at this, it's not worth it for me, then don't do it. You know what I mean? Like like, I think that's another mistake, is this kind of idea that like people should be doing risky professional paths when, given the fact that it's uncertain, they're not willing to invest in it. Is like, no, go get the stable job, go do something that's like going to be a sure thing. Because if you don't like that, the fact that there's going to be some risk, then choose something that's less risky. So I think that's very much embedded in the pursuit. But I think there's also something freeing about that, because I think if you kind of go into it with eyes open, like, this is what I'm doing, I know what the stakes are, I know that there's uncertainty and risk, and I'm not going to be able to guarantee that it's going to be successful, but obviously my chances of success go up the more work I put in. I think if you can get comfortable with that deal that you're making with yourself, it's a different kind of feeling. I think sometimes people sort of cede their autonomy that like, oh, well, so-and-so said it would work out, right? And they're trying to remove that responsibility of that decision and put it onto someone else, whether that's their parents or whether that's some person they listen to online, me, I don't know, anyone else that they want to like project like, well, so-and-so said this would work, or this is what you're supposed to do. And I think just a failure to kind of accept and take responsibility for the uncertainty of life, I think it can create problems, because then you're not the one sort of taking control and making decisions. And so I think that's important, but I do think that, you have to just kind of get comfortable with that uncertainty.